Daily Pickle. Daily Pickle. Daily Pickle. It's a Daily Pickle.
All right, we'll start with Triston Casas and his torn patellar tendon. He's already had it repaired, and he is on the mend, but he'll miss the remainder of the 2025 baseball season. So it's on to who's going to replace him, and it's just not an easy situation. John, grab the mic for a second. I want to hear what you've been listening to with the Red Sox and who could possibly replace him, because I know we think that Rafael Devers could just throw on a glove and play first base.
Put him on first, man.
It's not that simple. He was not a good third baseman. He probably doesn't and didn't in spring training want to work hard to become the replacement of Casas. Casas is hitting 185, 3 home runs, not doing a lot of damage this year so far with the bat, but he's an excellent first baseman. He picks a lot of balls. He saves a lot of errors. Explain what could possibly happen in the minor league chain of things here.
I know they already brought up Abraham Toro to potentially play first base. They brought Romy Gonzalez was the first option off the bench, and if you saw the first game with him in, he could not pick a ball. I think he made 2 errors trying to pick the ball. But it looks like Abraham Toro could maybe fit into that spot. He's hitting like 310 in AAA this year.
Okay.
And he has played first. I think he plays multiple infield positions, second, third. I don't think he plays short, but he might be a better defensive.
Let's start there. For any kids listening or parents of kids, if you're high school or junior high age, get your kid a glove for every infield position if he's an infielder.
Yeah.
I teach my third baseman to play first base. I bought gloves for them. I'm like, listen, you're and now at the high school level, they're sophomores, they're actually playing first base because that's a position nobody wants to play. Although it's the most needed position, like catcher. Yeah. And a lot of kids, the versatility is going to get you jobs at the next level. So don't ever say, I'm a second baseman or I'm a center fielder. Whatever position I put you at, you're going to go play, and you're going to play it as hard as you can play it. Yeah. Getting back to Rafael Devers, I just think his disappointment of not starting third, I don't think he's taking ground balls every day at first.
No,
I don't think he doesn't want people to think, well, now it's not a demotion. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Pete Rose made the All-Star game at 5 different positions. Albert Pujols never really had a position. He found a way to become a first baseman, but he came up as a third baseman. They put him in the outfield. They're like, you're not really good at any of these, but you're the best hitter on the team. So the more versatile you are, the better chance when something like this rears its ugly head 30 games in. We still got 130 games to go.
I know,
and we need someone at first base that has some kind of ability.
What about putting a catcher there? I mean, we've got Connor Wong, we got Carlos Narvaez.
That's usually what you do because they're the most fearless of anybody on the baseball team, and one of them doesn't want to be the backup, and he'll go play first base. But again, what are your catchers hitting? They're not.
Narvaez, 214,
pretty sure
Wong, not
Yasmani Grandal, I'm pretty sure, is in the AAA organization. That might be a good little stopgap.
That's actually a great. If he's in the Red Sox chain,
he's in the AAA organization right now.
He could play first.
That could be a great spot, like stopgap.
And he's a great offensive weapon.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. They're gonna have to bring somebody.
Here's another thing is, what do the analytics people think? Again, they're looking at the guys down in the minor leagues, and they're thinking a couple different things, offensively and defensively. Because I know these guys don't really, like you said, Red Sox right now, worst defensive team in baseball.
Yeah.
Most errors.
Lead the league.
That's not good. That's not good to begin with. That's coachable stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's getting out every day at 2 o'clock and getting extra fly balls, extra ground balls, stuff like that. So that's a coachable thing. Defensive pitching is coachable. You can't coach the offense. That's something these guys have to get better at on their own and make adjustments. So
I'm wondering why Yasmani. I think you just
it's an insurance policy.
I think you just hit what could probably happen. He's 36, man. I mean,
that's what they're thinking.
Insurance policy and woo.
We know the analytics on this guy offensively, defensively. That's so. Again, you got 10, 12 people sitting around a table. Those are the things they're going to be throwing out instead of, hey, who's the best option here? The 36-year-old guy, the 22-year-old cat from AA, because then you're going to have some bean counter that's going, you're going to start that guy's arbitration clock? It's going to be 4 months closer to arbitration, and you're going to have somebody that puts up a roadblock there. That's I hate to be that guy, but the devil's advocate is that these analytics people could stand in the way of a good guy. Like you're bringing up Lombard, that guy was awesome in spring training, but they want him to gradually climb the ladder. Don't get close to arbitration too quickly, and then jump into the major leagues. You don't want to throw guys from AA up in the big leagues and then have them drown. No. That's definitely not what you want to do. So they've got, but that's why they're in those positions. And Craig Breslow, Craig Breslow's made some really good calls so far, but he's also got to work on your bullpen. Your bullpen sucks. From the 7th inning on, you don't have anybody to get any outs. So your last 9 outs, there's nobody in that bullpen to get somebody out and win these games. They should have won at least 1 or 2 of these games this weekend that they choked on the Twins.
Not only that, it goes back to the Blue Jays series where they dropped 2 out of the 3 where they should have won. The game they did win, they blow them out. It feels like they need a 5-run lead headed to the top of the 9 or bottom of the 9 to close things out. Last night, 5-4 loss to the Twins, giving up 1 in the bottom of the 8th, and that spelled trouble from there on
and
out.
Can we just start with that star, Crochet, how awful he was yesterday? That dude was 3-2 on everybody. And checking the ump, dude, check yourself. When you're 95 pitches, you haven't even gotten 14 outs yet, dude, you got to check yourself. I watched the whole game, and it was irritating to me that your stuff is so good, but you're nibble, and you're throwing 8 pitches per batter. This is a problem across baseball, by the way. It's not just his start. It's so many starting pitchers. I go back 5 years ago, we had this conversation. Remember I used to always say, these guys throw 100 pitches for 5 innings. Yeah. Now they're throwing 100 pitches for 4. It's like it's getting worse. These guys aren't getting better. And in fact, you're seeing it all. I read, I follow Chipper Jones. I follow all these ex-Hall of Fame guys and stuff like that. And the same thing that they're talking about now is Fred Lynn just brought this up today because there's so many injuries, because everybody wants to throw 105. It's about accuracy. It's about economics. Being economical and staying in there for 7 innings. Those guys that are going 7 innings are giving their teams chances to win. I brought up this dude from the Mets, this Shinogo or whatever his name is, Shigano. That guy, 23 out of 24 starts in Japan, that dude went 7 innings. Gave up 3 runs or less. That's what we're talking about here. It's not about throwing 105. It's about throwing 80 pitches in 5 innings. That's what we need to get back to. And it's not about who can throw 100, who could throw the hardest. I think we've been swallowed up by analytics to the point where these guys are forgetting how to win games, how to be around for the decision to win games, and then the bullpen's overworked already, and we're 30 games in.
It was Justin Slaughton once again who gave up 2 runs to the Twins that spelled their demise. Liam Hendricks did come in the top of the 9th, and he did get 3 outs real quick, so he's back and at least looking decent that maybe he can be added to the mix, especially in these late innings for the Boston Red Sox. All right, you brought him up briefly, George Lombard Jr., who's only 19 years old, as Volpe might be a little banged up, and they're thinking New York Yankees, that is, moving this young stud up the ladder a little bit sooner than usual. He will be on the Double-A team, the Somerset Patriots, who will be in our backyard of Hartford playing the Yard Goats. It was in rookie High A, 19 years old, and as you say, his ETA to get to the bigs is not until 2027, so they'd be starting the clock 2 years early on this guy. And as far as a team who doesn't like to do that, the New York Yankees got to be number 1 as far as that goes. But needs are needs, man, and they've been trying to replace this shortstop position in New York Yankees land for a while with something consistent. Volpe was, cross your fingers, and hopefully that still could work out. You never know. But, man, I'm with you. When Didi Gregorius came in for Derek Jeter to be the replacement.
He was amazing.
It's always the toughest to replace the man. You want to be the man that replaced the man that replaced the man.
That's right. You want to be the man after the man. Right. You don't want to be the man.
Now, Didi was replacing the man, and I don't know if that was what was that pushed him. What was the Phillies, right? The Phillies took care of him after the New York Yankees didn't want to. But
he did great for a couple more years there.
Yeah,
but he was ended as a Yankee.
But since that, the Yankees have still been struggling to figure out that position full time.
I think the thing with Volpe is He's local, so he's probably got a lot of family at every game.
Yeah.
And I remember when Eric Davis went to the Dodgers and he was back home in South Central and around the LA area. You got all kinds of people want tickets. You got to worry about all. You aren't always all in on these home games. You're putting added pressure on yourself to take care of everybody. To take care of your game. Your game will speak for itself. The one thing I can say about Jeter was he was selfish when it came to baseball. That's all he wanted to do. I'll never forget because I talked to him for like 2 years. We paid him when I was on XM on the MLB channel. And he would never give you anything when he talked. But the one thing that when we talked to people that were around him, like his agent and other people, this guy was so all in on baseball. He had really no life outside of baseball to the point where his agent one time bought him like his own chef for 6 months. That was the birthday gift because that's all the guy wanted to do was go home and eat or go to a restaurant, close the restaurant down, and then just eat. He didn't want to be bothered. And I think sometimes you're bothered by these other things that are drawing you away from you're supposed to be the shortstop for the Yankees. It's the premier position, I think, in baseball. Maybe the Dodgers, Cubs, a couple of other places that you want to be the shortstop. But for the New York Yankees,
that's like the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
Absolutely,
They're one of those.
Absolutely,
for sure.
And so you've got to be all in. And I think it was unfortunate with the whole torpedo bat thing. Because even Jazz Chisholm, now who's on the IL,
by the
it's
way,
not the bat.
As far as the hits or as far as the injuries?
Both. Here's the thing.
Okay.
Where if I'm a pitcher and you tell me, hey, Kurt's hitting because of this bat, every time I face him from now on, I'm not going to let him hit. I don't care if it's the bat. I don't care if it's his shoes. I'm offended that you're making it seem like he's better than the rest of us because of the stupid bat. Or maybe he's wearing some special shades. My whole existence now is I'm going to make you look stupid. That's the way I was brought up. I don't understand why some of these guys, like you make the great point all the time, and I think people don't understand. Why are you pitching to Judge?
I don't understand.
Guy's hitting 440. How are you still pitching to him? You have to be the thickest idiots ever because there's two guys in that lineup that can hurt you, Goldschmidt and Judge.
Yeah.
I will not let them hurt me. I learned that when I was 13 years old. My parents made me walk home from blowing an all-star game. My dad's like, you're walking home. Okay, so I had to walk across Southington. And I'll never forget it because he was like, listen, do not, Robert, let the 3, 4, 5 guys ever beat you in a game. That should be, till the end of time as a baseball pitcher, that's the one thing you don't let happen. So when you see Judge come up, you're like, hey, bud, sorry, you're not playing today. I've told you the Andre Dawson story. We walked him 4 times in a game. We beat the Cubs. Almost started a brawl because Andre kept, throwing his bat at our dugout, throwing his helmet at us and stuff. It was upsetting him to the point where we knew it was working because it frustrated. But that was Lou's point. It wasn't about Andre. It was about you guys are an embarrassment to this organization. You keep letting Andre Dawson beat you. That was the conversation literally that we had in the locker room where he scolded us like school children. You guys suck. How does this guy keep beating you? You know what we're going to do today? Because we're going to take it out of your hands. We're not going to let him hit today. We're going to walk him intentionally every time he steps to the plate. And that's my point. You have to intentionally walk Judge and see what the rest of this team can do to beat you. And now, look, your shortstop's booting some balls and some other. So people have kind of gotten away. I'm not getting away from Judge. Every day I show up to play the Yankees, there's one guy I know when I get in the game, he will not see a pitch worth hitting. And he's going to be so frustrated that by next week he's striking out because he's going outside the zone to try to get at the ball.
After this weekend, Judge has got his average at 423.
It's insane.
He has 11 home runs, which is just one behind Kyle Raleigh, tied with Schwarb Dog. His RBI right now, top of the league, tied with Teoscar Hernandez at 33. So, yeah, he's been killing it.
He's feasting on balls that you're missing with I keep watching these bad breaking balls, stuff like it's like, listen, if you don't know you can locate a pitch in a certain way to a certain hitter, don't throw it.
Don't throw it.
Don't throw it. And here's the thing. I still see these guys, it's like they're typing. like SOS on their little pad.
I love
SOS,
how you pointed out the dugouts now. The dugouts do look like boardrooms and less like dugouts. There's a lot of computers.
They're not baseball anymore. I want to get back to spitting tobacco and shooting seeds and all the other. Now I look in there, they've got a table set up and they've got all their notes. It's like a board meeting for a baseball game. I'm like, you guys suck. It's still irritating to me to watch a guy pull a card out of his hat. Oh, this is where they want me to play this guy. How do you not know that? How do you not? Someday we're going to see some dude pull a thing out of his pocket in the NBA and go, ooh, okay, Jimmy Butler, this is how I got to guard him. I can't understand this stuff. I can't. My brain doesn't function that way. Like, are you doing anything when you're not at the baseball field? Are you doing anything?
No.
To prepare. I mean, prepare.
Well, it's got we got the whole office set up. Oh, here was a question we were going to have for you. You were out of the studio when we were talking about this. The Texas Rangers fired their offensive coordinator. What's an offensive coordinator for baseball?
It's the same as the pitching coach for the Yankees. He's a what is he? He's a
sequence specialist?
Sequencing expert or specialist. What the hell does that mean?
What's the pitching coach do? So you have an offensive coordinator? Kurt asked a great question. What's the hitting coach for? What do you do? Like, are we setting up the first and third plays? Other than, isn't the coach doing that? Like, my Little League coach.
Isn't the bench guy telling the manager, Bochy, yeah, okay, no, maybe you shouldn't do that?
I have way more respect for my Little League coach who could handle all of this, plus know the snack routine.
He was in his fourth year of the club's offensive coordinator. What is this, a football position for a baseball team?
I was wondering if Kurt got the story wrong, and maybe we're talking about the Houston Texans and not the Texas Rangers. Or maybe it was the New York Rangers.
New York Rangers, I was thinking.
Here is one of the worst lines in this whole brief here. He helped the Rangers win their only World Series title in 2023.
Yeah, he helped them.
How many plays did he do on the field?
I mean, where's the hot dog guy in this conversation?
He helped too.
He helped as well. Yeah.
The traveling secretary helped too. Yeah, damn, we gave them all shares when we won the World Series.
Somebody had to address.
But we still had to play that crap. Listen, I think we're over the top with the overkill info.
A little bit.
It's paralysis by analysis, and now this just proves it, man. We've added this job title.
I want it. I want to be the offensive coordinator for the Cubs. I don't know what it does, but I know I can do better.
Are you doing it after the fact? We should have probably.
So true.
We should have bunted right there.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell me that 5 seconds ago when the guy popped it up or struck out? I mean, this guy is the guy to tell you that was an unproductive at bat.
Right, because he has no place to actually speak up in the course of the game. Like, after the game's over, come to my office. I'll let you know all the things we should have done.
How many Ranger players, like Corey Seager, is Corey Seager seeking this guy's opinion on?
Think about
Corey
that.
Seager's making $300 million.
Right.
He's not asking this guy, Eckler, hey, Eck, what do you think I should do against this guy right here? I'm over my last 12 against him.
I don't even think that's his job. I think that's a hitting coach's job or the manager's job. Like, I'm still trying to figure out.
Baseball's not that complex. You know this. It's not that complex.
Every situation you should kind of know as soon as you step in the batter's box.
It's a tie game. There's a man on second. It's a ghost runner. What do you think we should do?
We would think we would be bunting, but we're not.
Donnie, what do you think we should do? Should we bunt him over or should we strike out right here?
Well, my offensive coordinator notes actually say that if we spray something to right field, in particular right center, that's what we'll be going for. And honestly, if we could do it on the 2-2 count, that would be best.
And hit it hard.
Harder than whatever you thought you were going to hit, harder than that.
All right. Let's go back to the first tips question of the day.
So genius.
Thank you so much for keeping us on the air. We'll be right back.